Welcome back to Hannity. So today marks the 200th day of Donald Trump's presidency, and despite, well, some of the distractions in the media and the attacks and all of that, well, the president believes that his movement is gaining momentum. Earlier today, he tweeted, quote, "Hard to believe with the 24/7 fake news on CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, New York Times, Washington Post. The Trump base is getting bigger." Here was reaction from the Trump Organization. Eric Trump and senior advisor for Trump for president, Lara Trump, is with us. In 5 weeks, you guys are getting your first baby.
I know. I can't believe it.
I think you need a Make America Great Again bib, Make America Great Again hat. And
I know where we can get all those things,
Where?
which is the best part.
Oh, you
Campaign.
do? Exactly,
Yeah.
right? One thing I think is a real big indicator, you're working on the re-election campaign, right, Committee?
Yep, absolutely.
And I was reading numbers recently, and the Democrats are broke, and in spite of all the negative press, you guys are killing it financially.
We are. We're so proud. We work every day alongside the RNC, and we have so much money in the bank right now. In fact, I think we have more money.
You should never say that, because you always need more for a campaign.
We always need more, but the good news is that we have built a war chest, and we feel very strong going into 2020, and we're only in 2017. And then you look at the other side, and they're doing terribly. You know, the DNC is almost broke, and I think it speaks to the fact that people in this country are very excited about the president. They're excited about the great changes they've seen since he's taken office, and, you know, they're really supporting him, and they're behind him.
Right after your dad became the president, I went to Washington, I interviewed Paul Ryan. And Paul Ryan gave me a whole list of things that are going to be accomplished, done, even with a margin built in, health care repeal and replace, which they did it in the House to their credit. 2 budgets are going to be passed, the wall's going to be funded, everything. What's happening?
It's all going to get done. Listen, if you look at 200 days, right? I mean, it's actually pretty amazing. It's 200 days. Time flies in a certain way. But
time flies when you're having fun. You mean this has been fun, Eric?
Look at what he's done, though. I mean, look at where the markets are, right? I mean, the U.S. economy has gained $4 trillion. $4 trillion.
Million new jobs.
In the first
lowest number of people on food stamps in 7 years.
Keystone Pipeline. Right? I mean, highest consumer confidence in generations, highest small business confidence in generations. You look at what my father's done for veterans, one of the major kind of pleas that we heard when we went around the country. You look what he's doing to destroy MS-13 and awful gangs in this country. You look at what he's doing on the southern border and the crackdown on illegal immigrants coming across the border. I mean, he has done so much. He is doing so incredibly well. Look at the Dow. How many times has the Dow broke another historic record?
I think it was 7 days in a row or something. What, 6 days?
56 times in the last 200 days.
Here's my question,
It's incredible, Sean.
Every American, everybody that watches this show could probably recite your dad's identity, the things he fights for. We saw it in West Virginia last week. But the Republican Party, they can't even get a 7.5-year-old promise over the finish line in the Senate. I'm not angry. I'm more apoplectic about the lack of progress from their end. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, listen, I think, like I said, Eric and I have, you know, we feel very good about the RNC as a whole, but you always have a couple of holdouts. And the swamp is very thick in Washington, D.C., and, you know, you do have those lingering people who don't want to see the president succeed and never were on board with him.
Even Republicans, though. Well, I mean, I thought this was the party of limited government, greater freedom, choice, capitalism, competition. This should be right up their alley. I didn't hear them talking about health savings accounts, health care cooperatives, which would greatly reduce premiums for people that need health care desperately.
Yeah. Listen, it's going to get done. They're all going to get done. You know, my father cares tremendously about repealing Obamacare because it's a disaster. You talk about it every single night, but it's an absolute disaster. I mean, I can't tell you how many days we were on the campaign trail where people would come up to us literally crying saying, I used to have health care. My family used to have health care. I used to have a doctor I like. Now I no longer have that doctor. My premiums have gone up 300%. I have to opt out, and the worst part of this is at the end of the year I actually have to pay a penalty because I can no longer afford something that I had and I loved before. I mean, I think it will get done. I think repeal and replace has to get done.
Your dad is still pushing the Republicans in the Senate. Either you're quitters or go back and get the job.
They let him down. There's no question about it. They let him down. He had it done. He had it finished. It was on the 1-yard line, and unfortunately, they let him down.